I transmigrated into the male protagonist of an Angst story, and the moment I opened my eyes, I found myself on the day the female protagonist secretly donated her kidney to me. Suddenly, countless bullet comments appeared in front of me. His kidney was donated by the female protagonist. The male lead is blind and oblivious. The male lead is an ingrate. Female protagonist, run away. I'm waiting to see the male lead regret and self-flagellate later. He'll dig out his own kidney to repay the debt. Serves him right, but I feel so sorry for the female protagonist. Giving so much in vain. Sob, sob, sob. What? Did I transmigrate into the world of the book? Am I really the male protagonist in an Angst story, the one who's doomed to later dig out his own kidney to repay the debt? At this moment, lying on the table next to mine was the selfless, deeply moved, and completely mute female protagonist. But I'm just a passerby who transmigrated here. What does this have to do with me? Who wants to self-flagellate? Who wants to dig out their kidney? Get the hell out of here. I sat up directly from the operating table and shouted, "Stop, this surgery won't be done. And as for the kidney from the person next door, I don't want it." Chapter 1. I sat up from the operating table. The doctor trembled, almost stabbing my leg with the scalpel. The nurse's eyes were about to fall out of her head. On the operating table next to mine, the pale-faced, self-righteous master, Willow, the female protagonist, probably just had the anesthesia kicked in and was drowsily opening her eyes, looking at me in confusion, not understanding what was going on. The bullet comments went wild. What the hell? He sat up. Is he faking death on the operating table? Kidney. He doesn't want the kidney anymore. The plot's broken. The male lead is crazy. How can the misunderstanding unfold without a kidney transplant? How can they mentally torture the male lead? Where's my satisfaction? It was so noisy, with colorful words floating in front of me. The doctor finally snapped back to his senses and said, "Mr. Wong, what are you doing? Lie down. The surgery just started." His tone sounded like he was coaxing a crazy person. I ripped off the messy wires from my body. My movements were a bit forceful, nearly knocking over the monitor. I said, "I'm not doing it." My voice was hoarse, and the air in the operating room was dry. The doctor raised his voice an octave. "No transplant. Mr. Wong, your kidney function is in late-stage failure. If you don't get the transplant, you'll die. The matched kidney is in the room next door." He pointed to the room next door, shaking his hand in frustration. The bullet comments immediately went wild again. Yes. Tell him. It's the female protagonist's kidney. Let the plot unfold. Stupid male lead. Wait to regret. Heh. I sneered and looked at the doctor, asking, "The kidney from next door?" The doctor nodded vigorously, his face filled with relief, as if saying, "You've finally come to your senses." I slowly spoke, addressing the doctor and the buzzing bullet comments. "I don't want her kidney. Whoever wants it, go ahead. As for whether I'll die," I flipped off the sterile sheet, rolled off the operating table, my movements slightly unsteady, but I stood firm. "None of your business." The operating room went silent. The doctor was stunned, and the nurse was frozen. The bullet comments went completely crazy. What's the male lead doing? My mind is full of question marks right now. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. Who the hell does he think he is to not want it? The female protagonist secretly donated her kidney to him. How can he not want it? The male lead is rejecting it like this. What the hell is going to happen with the plot now? So noisy. I furrowed my brows and rubbed my dizzy head. This messed up body of the original host was deeply poisoned and so weak. But this kidney, I absolutely won't take it. Taking it would be like signing a contract to sell myself. Endless misunderstandings, torture, self-flagellation, kidney digging. Just thinking about it makes me sick. Why should I? Just because she's the female protagonist? Just because she's self-sacrificial and moved by herself? Just because she faked an affair and waited to die without saying a word? What kind of nonsensical logic is that? It's her choice to donate, but why should I follow the script, grateful and in misery? The doctor finally regained his voice. "Mr. Wong, you're joking with your life. Without this kidney," I interrupted him calmly, "then find another one. Pay. Find a kidney bank. Buy. Wait. There's always a way. Much better than taking a kidney that comes with an invisible contract that says you must love and chase me, and then dig out your kidney to repay me." The bullet comments were on fire again. "Paying?" He said, "Paying to find another one. What about the female protagonist's feelings? Is he throwing her to the dogs? Scumbag. Cold-blooded. No humanity. How can he live without the female protagonist's kidney? He's waiting to die." I couldn't be bothered to look at those noisy comments. Holding onto the cold metal equipment table, I walked step by step toward the door. My legs were weak, but my steps were steady. My goal was clear: get away from this place of trouble and stay as far away from the deeply affectionate female protagonist next door as possible. The door was blocked by nurses and assistants who had rushed in after hearing the news. The looks they gave me were like I was an alien monster. I stopped and gave them a glance. Move. My voice wasn't loud, but it was effective. The crowd instinctively parted to make a path. I walked out without looking back. As for the future? Oh, the original host was a CEO. Very rich. So I'd spend money to extend my life. I'd buy the best medical team. Use all resources to find a kidney. Even if I couldn't find one, that would still be my life. Much better than being tied to a self-righteous female protagonist, acting out a ridiculous, torturous love story, and ending up digging my own kidney to repay a debt. Just thinking about it makes me disgusted. Let her torture whoever she wants. I'm not playing along. I don't want this kidney. Let someone else be the male lead of this Angst story. I'm so done with it. Bullet comments. Let them spew all they want. I don't care. Now, I'll just find a place to lie down for a while. This damn body is really weak. Chapter 2. I didn't want to stay even 1 second longer in that damn hospital. My assistant and bodyguard looked at me like they had seen a ghost. But money and the boss's identity were overwhelming. I gave the order, one thing only, find a matching kidney source globally, as fast as possible. With the highest standards, money is not an issue. Efficiency was indeed high. Being the CEO has its perks. Less than a day later, the news arrived. A top-tier medical center abroad had a highly compatible anonymous donor. An immediate private jet was arranged to bring it back, with the best medical team accompanying for protection. The surgery schedule was tight. Who wants to wait to die? Who wants to join the self-sacrificing female lead in her tragic drama? Dumbing down. Self-pity. If you want to play the mute martyr, go ahead. I'm not playing along. The bullet comments kept on, like a swarm of flies that would never leave. Showing off. They found one abroad. Are you kidding me? The plot is forcing it. They're doing this so he won't die too quickly. Poor Willow. She genuinely fed herself to the dogs, waiting for him to slap himself in the face. Finding a kidney abroad isn't so easy. Wait for him to die from kidney failure. He deserves it. Does it hurt? A little. Is my body weak? Yes, it is. But the pain money can solve is called investment. Much better than the deep debt of heart-wrenching sacrifice. I lay in the top-tier hospital room, staring out the window, feeling okay. My phone rang. It was Willow. I picked up, not saying a word. There was silence on the other end for a few seconds before her voice, deliberately softened, and tinged with weakness and grievance, came through. It's me, Willow. George. I hummed in response. Just a casual acknowledgement. She carefully asked. I heard you canceled the surgery. Why? Isn't the kidney source a good match? Here it comes. Classic. Pretending not to know the answer. The bullet comments exploded. Here it comes. Willow, the little angel, cares about him. Quick. Tell him the truth. Mentally torture him. Make him regret it. This scumbag definitely has nothing nice to say. I scoffed and spoke to the phone, as well as to the bouncing bullet comments. Why? Simple. The person who donated the kidney makes me feel extremely uncomfortable. Just the thought of using her stuff disgusts me. Understand? Silence on the other end of the phone. I could almost imagine her pretending to be strong, face freezing in shock. The bullet comments paused for a moment. What? Disgusted. He's disgusted by Willow. Who does he think he is? Oh my God. Willow must be so heartbroken. Sure enough, Willow's voice had a faint tremor, and there was a trace of disbelief. George, how could you say that? The donor. She really wanted to help you. I interrupted her without hesitation. Really? Who needs her sincerity? Secretly donating a kidney, thinking she's so great and selfless. And then what? Waiting for others to thank her, crying with gratitude. Or does she plan to use this as leverage to morally blackmail me later? That kind of sincerity with an invisible price tag. I can't stand it. It just makes me sick. So, her kidney, keep it far away from me. I don't want it. On the other end of the phone, there was only heavy breathing. She was probably very angry, but didn't dare to explode. The bullet comments completely exploded. What a heartless bastard. Moral blackmail. He actually said Willow was morally blackmailing. Willow's heartfelt sincerity crushed underfoot. Scumbag. Go die. Does he know something? Impossible. If he knew, how could he be so ruthless? Is he even human? Cold-blooded animal. He deserves to die of illness. I couldn't be bothered with the silence on the other end or the curses in the comments. I asked her, is there anything else? No, nothing. Willow's voice trembled, trying to maintain the last shred of dignity. George, I'm just worried about your health. No need. I directly interrupted her concern. My body is my responsibility. I don't need irrelevant people worrying about me. Especially. I paused, my tone sharp. Those who try to worry about me through self-sacrifice. It just seems stupid. There was complete silence on the other end of the phone. She was probably crushed by the word stupid, and her defenses were broken. The bullet comments exploded again. He said Willow is stupid. Ah, This is driving me crazy. Willow, hang up. Don't listen to this madman. How dare he? How can he treat Willow like this? She probably still wanted to say something. I directly hit the hang up button. The world became quiet. Ah, bliss. As for Willow's heartfelt kidney, whoever wants to be moved, let them be. I'd rather she kept it for herself. After all, according to the original plot, without this kidney moving me, she wouldn't have faked an affair and ended up making herself gravely ill. Heh, not my problem. I'm busy extending my life, busy spending money, and busy not being the stupid male lead of this Angst story. That's it. Chapter 3. The foreign kidney source was secured, the surgery date was set, the private jet was waiting on the tarmac, and the top medical team was ready for full-time care. Spending money to extend life is efficient. Just when I was in a good mood, the hospital door was pushed open, and Willow walked in. Her face looked worse than last time. This wasn't the pale look of illness, but a waxy yellow, as if she were forcing herself. She had some lipstick on, but it only made her complexion look more artificial. There were dark circles under her eyes, impossible to hide, and behind her stood that deeply affectionate male supporting character, Makoto, dressed in a suit. He was trying his best to stand tall. The bullet comments immediately exploded. Classic scene. Willow brought the male supporting character. Look at the scumbag male lead. He's definitely about to explode. Willow looks so worn out. My heart aches. She's definitely putting on a forced smile to provoke the male lead. Make him regret it. Yes, yes. Make him jealous and crazy. Then he'll accept the kidney. Willow's hand was tightly gripping Makoto's arm. Her knuckles were white from the force. Makoto, in turn, awkwardly held her waist, stiff as a board, like they were performing in a bad play. Willow forced out an exaggerated smile, but her gaze flickered, not daring to look directly at me. Beneath that smile, I could see the overflowing loneliness, unease, and a touch of desperate finality. George, her voice was a bit distant, but she tried to raise it, sounding like she had conviction. I'd like to formally introduce you to my boyfriend, Makoto. We are together now. The words were dry and devoid of sweetness, more like a recitation. She took a deep breath, as if trying to boost her own courage, and finally focused her eyes on me, her gaze tinged with a hint of provocation. So, please stay away from me from now on. Don't disturb my happiness anymore. The bullet comments went wild again. Here it comes. Willow is going all out. This love show, so heartbreaking. She still loves the male lead. Look at the scumbag male lead. Willow has a new lover. You've been dumped. He definitely can't stand it. He's going to explode. Watch him blow up. I leaned back on the hospital bed, my tablet showing flight information. I didn't even raise my eyelids. My voice was flat, as if discussing the weather. I scrolled through the screen, confirming the kidney source's boarding time. An eerie silence filled the room. The forced sweetness and provocation on Willow's face cracked like cheap foundation. There was no anger, no questions, no breakdown, none of the reactions she had anticipated. It was like punching air. It was so awkward you could cut it with a knife. Makoto's arm around her stiffened even more, probably realizing that this act was getting uncomfortable. The bullet comments froze for a moment. Oh, that's it. He has no reaction. Impossible. He's just pretending. Willow's lips trembled slightly. Her eyes filled with tears as she whispered, George, did you hear me? Makoto and I are together. We're happy. I heard. I finally looked at her. My gaze was as calm as if I were looking at a stranger. I took in the contrast between her forced happiness mask and the loneliness hidden deep in her eyes. Sounds good. Congratulations to both of you. My tone was flat, even a bit dismissive. I finished speaking and returned my attention to the tablet. Anything else? I'm in a hurry. I effectively gave her the cold shoulder. Willow was completely stunned. Her body swayed slightly. The little strength she had to hold herself together was instantly drained. Makoto quickly steadied her, but his expression had completely lost composure. He snapped at me. George, Willow, shut up. I wasn't interested in hearing the supporting character's lines. Willow suddenly shoved Makoto away. She stared at me, then lowered her gaze and spoke softly. George, actually, Makoto and I have been together for years. I know you like me, and I'm sorry to you, so it's understandable if you hate me. But now, our kidney matches perfectly. So to make it up to you, I'll give you my kidney. You can use it to extend your life. As long as you use it, we'll be square. From now on, we'll go our separate ways. I don't owe you anything anymore, and you don't have to show up in front of me. She finished trembling, leaning against the wall, her shoulders shaking as she sobbed uncontrollably. The bullet comments reached a boiling point. Oh my God, Willow. She's putting on this show to make the male lead use her kidney. She hasn't let go at all. She just wants to force the male lead to accept her this way. Too heartbreaking. Willow is too foolish. Scumbag, agree to it. She's doing all this for you. Yes, take the kidney, then torture him in the fire pit later. The room was filled with her stifled sobs. Everyone, including the bullet comments, was waiting for my response, waiting for me to reluctantly accept the kidney, full of twisted love, thinking this was the return to the Angst script. Heh. I set my tablet down, looking at Willow, whose image of happiness had completely fallen apart, watching her self-directed, self-acted farce with more holes than Swiss cheese. Willow. My voice wasn't loud, but it clearly drowned out her crying. Chapter 4. Are you done acting? You're crying and throwing a tantrum, dragging along a fake boyfriend to show off your love. I pointed at Makoto, awkwardly standing to the side, just to anger me, to make me hate you, so it'll be natural for me to accept your kidney. Tisk. I shook my head, my tone dripping with unmasked sarcasm. You've really put a lot of effort into getting me to use your stuff. Moved by heaven, moved by earth, just not moved by me. Save it, your kidney. With your drama and tears, keep it far from me. It's irritating just looking at it. Keep it for yourself. Or, I paused, maliciously curling my lips. Feed it to the dogs. That works too. The air froze. Willow's crying stopped abruptly. She stared at me with wide, horrified eyes, unable to believe what she was hearing. It was as though the last shred of her shame had been ruthlessly torn away. All her disguises, calculations, and desperate efforts were laid bare, clear as day, exposed under the harsh, pale lights, like a poorly told joke. Makoto's face turned ashen. His fists were clenched, but he couldn't speak a word. The bullet comments exploded. He saw through it. He saw through everything. He called Willow out for acting. Feed it to the dogs. He actually said feed it to the dogs. Oh my God. This is both a mental and emotional strike. It's over. Willow is completely finished. The future tortured love plot is gone. It's totally gone. I wasn't interested in watching her collapse. I pressed the call button, and my assistant came in immediately. Mr. Wong, I said. Clean up. I stood up. It's too noisy. You're delaying my surgery. From now on, no unrelated people. I glanced at the disoriented Willow and the ashen-faced Makoto, especially the ones who love to act. No one like that is allowed in the VIP area. Understood, Mr. Wong. The assistant immediately stepped forward and forcefully ushered them out. Please leave immediately. Willow seemed like all her strength had been drained away. She slumped against the wall, her eyes empty, her carefully crafted script now a complete disaster. I picked up my coat and, without even looking at the aftermath of this farce, walked out. Spending money to extend life, efficient and clean. No melodrama. No need to seek others' forgiveness through self-harm. It was satisfying. As for Willow's kidney that she wanted to force on me, I didn't care how she was going to act anymore. The bullet comments. Let them rant. I have surgery time coming up. Kidney transplant. A new life. Who wants to be in some ridiculous tortured romance drama with a fool? Chapter 5. The surgery went smoothly. The money spent really showed its worth. Top medical team. Precise surgery. Sterile environment. When I woke up from the anesthesia, my body still felt weak, and the wound ached faintly, but I felt a sense of freshness I'd never experienced before. My bad kidney was replaced. A new life. Refreshing. The bullet comments were still flooding the screen. Unbearably noisy. Scumbag. You've betrayed Willow's true heart. She loves you so much. She's even willing to give you her kidney. Cold-blooded animal. You don't deserve love. Waiting for him to regret it. He'll realize Willow is the true love. Just wait. He'll cry in the future. I lay in the hospital bed, too lazy to open my eyes, listening to the annoying noise from these all-knowing commenters. Love. Love means secretly donating a kidney and then acting like a mute. Do normal people do that? You have to sign a consent form to donate blood. But when it comes to kidneys, let's play the hidden, selfless donation card. Not saying anything. Who would know it was her donation? Wait for me to discover it myself, then shed tears of gratitude and regret. What kind of ridiculous logic is that? Have they watched too many melodramas? In the afternoon, the doctor came for a round to confirm that everything was stable. Very good. Spending money to buy life does have high quality. I was thinking about how to enjoy life once I'm discharged. Just then, the hospital room door gently opened, and Willow entered. She tiptoed in, holding a bowl of chicken soup. Her face wore a "look at how much I care about you" expression. She walked to the bedside, her voice soft and gentle, with a hint of caution. George, you're awake. How do you feel? I heard you had the surgery. I didn't know you'd already found a kidney source. She paused, her gaze flickering, as if she were trying to find the right words to distance herself from what happened. Earlier in the hospital room, I wasn't really planning to be with Makoto. I was acting. I just wanted to use that method to make you accept my kidney. Her voice grew softer, tinged with grievance and anticipation. Did she expect me to suddenly realize, to be moved, to understand her good intentions? The bullet comments immediately chimed in. Willow is here. She still hasn't let go. She's explaining. Quickly forgive her. The female lead is bowing her head. Scumbag male lead. Don't be ungrateful. See, Willow still cares about him. True love is invincible. I opened my eyes. My vision was blurry, but it focused on her face full of self-pity. Annoying. I just had surgery. It hurt. I didn't have the mood for any drama, and I definitely didn't have the energy for this deep love act. Miss Lou, I spoke, my voice hoarse but clear enough. Could you? I lifted the hand that hadn't been hooked up to N4 and pointed toward the door. Move aside. I'm a bit tired. I need rest. Willow froze with the chicken soup in midair. Her face filled with worry and grievance instantly froze. She clearly didn't expect this kind of reaction. George. She leaned forward slightly, her tone filled with urgency and confusion. Are you angry with me? I'm really doing this for your own good. I'm just worried you. Stop. I interrupted her, not wanting to hear the same lines repeated for the 100th time. I don't care why you were acting. I don't care who you're with. I looked her in the eyes and calmly continued. Right now, I don't love anyone. I'm annoyed by everyone. Especially, I paused, my brows furrowing slightly from the dull pain of the wound. When I just had surgery and am in pain, wanting to curse at someone, annoyed. Understand. This pain was real. My new kidney was adjusting, and the anesthesia had worn off. It felt like a dull knife cutting through flesh. Who the hell has time to play along with her? Let me explain. Melodrama. The bullet comments exploded. What the hell? What did he just say? He doesn't love anyone. He's annoyed by everyone. He actually said he's annoyed by Willow. He's gone to a new level of bad. Just had surgery and turned his back on her. Willow, don't bother with him. Let him suffer until he dies. Cold-blooded. He deserves to suffer and die. Willow's face turned completely white. The joints of her fingers, still holding the chicken soup, turned pale from the force. That sentence, I'm annoyed by everyone, especially the pause after, especially, was like a needle stabbing into her heart. All her concern, explanations, and humble gestures became self-indulgent. Her voice trembled with disbelief. George, how could you treat me like this? I was only concerned about you. Concerned about me. I tugged at the corner of my mouth, causing the wound to ache, and I hissed in pain. This pain made me even more impatient. Your concern was barging into my room after I clearly rejected your kidney and after the surgery was successful, when I was in pain and needed to rest in silence, discussing why you acted, discussing your self-pitying excuses. I looked at her, my eyes showing clear irritation and confusion. You think this is called concern? Or do you think I'm so free after the surgery that I need to spend my time listening to your melodramatic emotional breakdown? Willow Lou. I called her by her full name, my tone heavier. Are you really that clueless? Can't tell when you should shut up? When you should just leave? The room was dead silent, only the rhythmic ticking of the monitor and my slightly labored breathing from the pain. Willow's chicken soup fell to the floor with a loud clunk, spilling over the expensive carpet. She froze, as if struck by an iceberg, her face draining of all color. Her lips trembled as tears silently welled up and spilled. This time, it wasn't acting. It was complete humiliation, crushed under the weight of helplessness. Her carefully prepared explanations and concern were shredded to pieces, and she was insulted with clueless and should go away. The bullet comments froze briefly. He called Willow clueless. He told her to go away. He's this sharp-tongued right after surgery. Oh my God, this isn't just scum. He's a devil, right? Willow, just leave. Don't deal with this madman. Nurse. I couldn't be bothered to look at her broken expression. I pressed the button, my tone irritable and unmistakable. Please clear the room. Someone is disturbing my rest. It's too noisy. My wound hurts. The nurse quickly entered, saw the spilled soup and Willow's tear-streaked face, and immediately understood. This young lady, the patient just had surgery and needs rest. Could you please leave now? The nurse was polite but firm. Willow was like a marionette, half supported, half guided out of the room. Before the door closed, I could still hear her muffled sobs and the frantic spam of bullet comments. Poor Willow. Scumbag. He deserves to die. He should be alone for the rest of his life. Just wait. Without the female lead, he'll regret it sooner or later. Angst male lead without the female lead is nothing. Let's see how long he can be arrogant. The room finally fell silent. Just me and the ticking of the monitor. The sharp pain in my abdomen pulsing with every breath. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. It hurt like hell, but it was finally quiet. Spending money to extend my life. No melodrama. No female lead. No tragic ending. As for those comments calling me a scumbag and cold-blooded, let them say what they want. Right now, I'm in pain and just want to sleep. Who wants to play along with a fool and a bunch of troublemaking commenters in some sad love drama? Where's the pain pump? Nurse. Increase the dosage. Chapter 6. It had been quiet for 3 days. The pain from my wound had subsided significantly, and I could get out of bed and move around a little. The top-tier care I paid for was definitely worth it. The female lead hadn't come by in these past few days, probably hiding in some corner. Heartbroken. The bullet comments had quieted down a bit too. I guess I either scared them off or they were waiting to make a bigger move. Whatever. I leaned against the headboard, thinking about what I'd do after discharge. Buy an island. Buy a football team. The original host had plenty of money to burn. Just as I was lost in thought, the door to my hospital room was knocked on, the reluctant rhythm unmistakable. My assistant poked his head in. Mr. Wong. Mr. Makoto would like to see you. Makoto. That overly sentimental male supporting character they dragged in as a tool. What was he doing here again? The bullet comments exploded instantly. The male supporting character is here. He's definitely here to seek justice for Willow. Let's see a fight. Scumbag male lead is about to talk back again. Send him away. I didn't even bother raising my eyelids. I'm busy hurting. I don't have time for a chat. Before the assistant could respond, Makoto pushed his way in, looking a little uncomfortable, forcing a "I'm upright" expression. He walked over to the bedside, trying to keep his voice calm. Mr. Wong, sorry to disturb you. About Willow. Stop. I raised my hand to stop him. The wound pulled as I moved, causing a sharp pain. I'm not interested in you two's situation. Once the show's over, it's time to go home. Don't come here to try and get attention. Makoto froze, clearly not expecting to hit a wall right away. He took a deep breath before continuing. I'm here to explain. Willow and I. He paused, seemingly trying to find the right words. We're actually clear and innocent. I finished his sentence for him. I looked at him. This guy was supposed to be a good person in the original story, sentimental and polite, but he couldn't even speak properly. He had to wait until the female lead was nearly dying to finally say, I love you. Purely pathetic. Right. Makoto sighed in relief, nodding rapidly, thinking I understood. We're just friends. Everything before was acting. We did it to make you. I know. I interrupted his defense and pointed toward the door. Instead of wasting time here with me, explaining your little drama. Why don't you? I stared at him, my gaze filled with pity as if he were a fool. Go directly to Willow, while her brain still works, before she does something to herself that lands her in the ICU. Get those words you've been holding back for years out. Go tell her you love her. Makoto's face turned a mix of red and white, like someone had just stripped him naked in public. He stammered, I didn't. How could I love her? At that moment, all his so-called sacrifices, protection, silent dedication, and love were torn apart with a few words, leaving only coward and tongue-tied plastered on his forehead. He made a strangled sound in his throat, like a goose whose neck had been grabbed, but couldn't say a word. The bullet comments went into a frenzy. He's telling the male supporting character to confess. Is he out of his mind? The male lead is pushing the female lead and male supporting character together. The plot is falling apart. It's like no one recognizes this anymore. Willow can only love the male lead. What kind of cult behavior is this? No, I refuse. This candy is poisoned. Is there anything else? My patience was running thin, the wound still faintly aching. No. I don't love her. Don't misunderstand. Makoto was disoriented, his worldview shattered, like a balloon deflating. He turned and floated out of the room, leaving the place completely quiet again. The bullet comments were still wailing. No, the male supporting character can't confess. Willow belongs to the male lead. What happened to the Angst rules? Are they all thrown away now? This male lead is poison. Pure poison. Rules. I came here to flip the table. Let others torture themselves if they want to. I'm busy healing, spending money, and watching drama. As for who Willow ends up with, not my problem. Just don't bother me. Let them love whoever they want. I'm done. Nurse. Pain pump. Chapter 7. The day I was discharged from the hospital, my subordinates at the company threw me a celebration. The private room was filled with smoke and haze, full of sycophantic smiles and insincere Wong, the boss, must have great fortune after surviving such a disaster. I barely touched the food, and I didn't drink a drop of alcohol. My kidney, which had been replaced less than 2 months ago, felt a dull discomfort. I was just thinking about how to leave early when a loud bang echoed from the next room, like something heavy had hit the wall, followed by a woman's shrill cries, mixed with a man's crude curses. Damn, are you asking for trouble? President Kim, please. That voice. It was so familiar that my temples throbbed. Before I could frown, the door to our private room was slammed open. Willow tumbled in. Her hair was a mess. The carefully styled curls had clearly been ruffled. 2 buttons from her suit jacket had popped off, and the silk shirt beneath had a jagged tear at the collar, exposing a hint of her collarbone. One side of her cheek was marked with a clear slap print, which was quickly swelling. One of her high heels was missing, and her stockings had torn. She was a mess, in every possible way. Her face was covered in tears, and her eyes scanned the room, quickly locking onto me. It was like she had found a lifeline, and she staggered toward me, trembling cold hands gripping my suit sleeve tightly. She was gasping for air, her words barely coherent. George, save me. That person, She was breathing heavily, unable to finish her sentence. Just then, a middle-aged fat man with a balding head, his face oily and reeking of alcohol, stormed to the door. His tie was crooked, and he pointed at Willow, cursing loudly. Willow, what the hell are you pretending to be? A virtuous woman. You were all over the place at the dinner table, and now you're playing this act with me. Get your ass back here. Willow flinched, almost burying herself into my arm, trembling like a leaf in the autumn wind. She babbled, her voice tinged with crying, but loud enough for everyone in the room to hear clearly. No, George, please believe me, it was him. He forced me, he said if I made him happy, he wouldn't block that important project for your company. He said he knew the people in charge of the approval process. I was doing this for you, George. I was scared. You wouldn't be able to handle the company falling apart right after you got out of the hospital. The bullet comments exploded instantly, flooding the screen with overwhelming messages. Oh my Willow. My heart aches for her. She was doing this to help the scummy male lead's company. Ugh. She's been bullied again. The female lead is too pitiful. Scumbag. Go. It's time for the hero to save the damsel in distress. Yes. Punch that greasy guy's face, and feel sorry for Willow. The female lead sacrificed too much. Scumbag. You better be moved. The balding fat man was still shouting at the door. Bullshit. You slut. You seduced me yourself. Stop pretending to do it for someone else. Wang. Ha. Does Wang know how hard you're working for him? His lewd gaze swept over to me with a hint of provocation. Everyone's eyes in the room were on me. The company's executives held their breath, afraid to make a sound, eagerly waiting for the drama to unfold. Willow clung to me, her eyes silently screaming, "Look at how much I've sacrificed for you. Feel sorry for me." I lowered my head, glanced at her hand clutching my sleeve, her nail polish chipped, then I raised my eyes, my gaze coldly locking onto the fat man at the door, still spewing insults. "Are you done?" I spoke, my voice soft, but it felt like an ice cube had fallen into a boiling pot, causing the temperature in the room to plummet. Both Willow and the fat man froze for a moment. I didn't pull away from Willow's hand, nor did I look at her. I took out my phone, dialed, and switched it to speakerphone. Beep, beep. The busy signal sounded sharply in the dead silence. When the call was connected, the efficient voice of the legal department director came through. "Wang, is that you? Listen." I spoke at a steady pace, with no change in tone. "Find out which company and which President Kim had business dealings with us today. Focus on investigating who, either actively or passively, arranged for the alcohol-serving staff. Especially investigate this person." My eyes swept over to the drunken, red-faced fat man at the door, and check if they ever suggested or implied that serving drinks or any form of improper services were exchanged for facilitating our access to the project or smoothing out relationships. Look into any possible commercial bribery. Investigate thoroughly, including all phone records, emails, intermediaries, leave nothing out. If it's verified, call the police and press charges. There was a brief pause on the other end, and then the response came swiftly. Understood, Wang. We'll immediately begin the investigation and secure the evidence. We'll also contact the company to verify. I hung up. The entire private room was deathly silent. Everyone was stunned. Willow loosened her grip on my sleeve. The shattered expression of hurt on her face froze and turned into a deeper sense of confusion. The fat man at the door seemed to have sobered up a bit. Oily sweat dripped down his greasy cheeks as he shouted with an aggressive tone. "You, what the hell are you spouting? Who's bribing anyone? Who forced her to serve drinks? She did it herself." I couldn't be bothered to listen to his rambling. I picked up my phone again, this time dialing 110, with the speakerphone still on. "Hello, is this 110? I'd like to report an incident at Yunxiao Club, a private room. There's a case of suspected forced sexual assault. The victim is here at the scene, disheveled, with obvious injuries. The suspect is also here, preventing the victim from leaving and continuing to verbally abuse her. Please dispatch officers immediately." My voice was clear and calm, as if I were describing a completely unrelated business matter. The report was methodical, with every key point covered. Damn it. The fat man's face drained of color, his finger shaking as he pointed at me. You're slandering me, George, you son of a." The bullet comments went wild. What? He called the police. Is he calling the police to arrest that guy? Shouldn't he be comforting Willow first? Commercial bribery, forced sexual assault. What's going on here? Wrong focus. Scumbag. Willow did it for you. He's investigating the company first. What about Willow? The police arrived quickly. Flashing police lights illuminated the area outside the club. 2 officers walked in solemnly, scanning the room of chaos and the varied expressions of the crowd before finally locking eyes with me. "Did you make the call?" "Yes." I gave a brief answer and pointed to the pale-faced Kim and Willow, who was still clutching my sleeve. "This Mr. Wong is suspected of forcibly assaulting Miss Liu. You can interview the witnesses separately, including the staff from our private room. The injuries on Miss Liu's face are clear. Additionally, this Mr. Wong may have had improper business dealings with my company and is suspected of commercial bribery. I have already instructed the legal department to start an investigation, and relevant evidence will be submitted according to the law." The officer nodded, walking up to the fat man, and spoke firmly. "Sir, please come with us to the station for questioning." The fat man tried to argue, but the officer stopped him immediately. "Whatever you have to say, you can say it at the station. Take him away." Another officer stepped forward and restrained the fat man. It wasn't until Kim was being escorted past the door that Willow seemed to snap out of it. She released my sleeve, looked at the fat man being taken away, then glanced at me. Tears welled up in her eyes again, accompanied by an even more desperate wail. "George, it's not like that. Please listen to me. I really just wanted to help you. I was afraid your company would go under. I didn't think this would happen. Don't misunderstand me." She babbled incoherently, repeatedly emphasizing "help you" and "misunderstanding." The bullet comments were still struggling. Willow's explaining, "Hurry up and listen. She just loves you too much. Used the wrong method. Is the scumbag's heart made of stone? She's like this, and he still misunderstand." I interrupted her and finally looked her in the eyes. My face showed no emotion, only a trace of sheer absurdity and weariness. "I'm not misunderstanding. I just think." I paused, staring at her face, which was written with self-righteous sacrifice and deep affection, and clearly articulated the words like knives. "What era is this? Who taught you to help like this? Is it self-pity to the point of committing a crime? Stupid to the point of lowering the standards?" Willow was stunned. The bullet comments fell into a brief silence, then surged back like a tidal wave. "He's calling Willow stupid again, refreshing my understanding of low standards. Oh my God, so cruel. Willow's heart must be breaking. Scumbag deserves a miserable life, should be single forever. He called the police and still calls the female lead stupid. Is this male lead the villain? Although workplace bribery and sexual assault reporting, maybe that wasn't wrong. Wake up." Earlier commenters, what about the female lead's heart? Is it thrown to the dogs now? I stopped looking at her and turned to my assistant, who was standing there, stunned. My tone returned to its usual indifference. "Have the driver prepare the car. We're going back to the hospital for a checkup. My wound hurts." The assistant snapped out of it and quickly replied, "Why yes, Wong. Right away." I took a step toward the door, my eyes briefly flicking to the lone high heel that Willow had dropped on the floor. Without a pause, behind me, I heard Willow finally lose control, breaking down into heartbreaking sobs. The bullet comments were still wildly flashing, feeling sorry for Willow and "scumbag, go die," making a headache. Whatever drama this was, I had just gotten a kidney transplant, and it was precious. I didn't have time to watch fools perform, and I certainly wasn't obligated to be the audience for someone else's self-pity. Chapter 8. It was my first day back at work, and the office door wasn't properly shut. Willow just pushed it open and walked in without knocking. Her face was better than last night, but the stubbornness and grievance in her eyes still lingered. The bullet comments flooded the screen instantly. "Willow is here." She finally gathered the courage. "Go ask the scumbag. Why is he treating you like this? The scumbag must be nervous. Let's see how he explains." Angst male lead. "You have to give an explanation." I set down my pen and leaned back in my chair. I just watched her. I didn't say anything. I waited for her to speak first. She took a deep breath, as though she had rehearsed this countless times, her voice trembling, but mostly filled with resentment. "George, we weren't like this before. You had feelings for me, didn't you? Even if it was just a little bit. Why now?" Her eyes reddened, and she struggled to hold back her tears, maintaining the last bit of defiance. "Why has it come to this? Why have you become so indifferent? My feelings for you. It's all true," she exclaimed, as if it were an undeniable fact. The bullet comments exploded. Yes. Willow's asking the right questions. "Scumbag, you better answer. Did you love her or not? You must admit it, or the heavens will strike you down." Let's see how he defends himself. I watched her. I watched the grand injustice on her face. The "I gave everything but you betrayed me" look. I watched the hidden hope deep in her eyes. A secret longing of "you better admit you still love me." Here it comes again, never ending. I leaned forward, resting my elbows on the desk, and interlaced my fingers. It was time to end this farce. Time for the truth. "Willow." My tone was flat, like I was analyzing a financial report. "You're right." Her eyes brightened just a little. "Between us, There may have been some hormone-driven attraction in the past. I leaned back in my chair, pulling at the corners of my mouth. But attraction, like a cold, comes quickly. It goes just as fast. Your so-called heart, your so-called sacrifice. I looked at her, my gaze sharp, like a scalpel cutting through her carefully wrapped, deep affection. Sneaking around, donating a kidney, thinking you're so great and selfless, and then keeping it all to yourself, waiting for me to find out, cry, and regret, putting on a fake boyfriend act in front of me, force me to accept your kidney, and then messing it all up, getting bullied by a sleazy guy, and calling it for me. This is your sacrifice. This is your love. The barrage of questions hit her like a storm, draining the color from her face, her lips trembling. The bullet comments froze. He said all that. So blunt. This is so harsh. I continued. Willow, to love someone, indeed, requires sacrifice, time, energy, patience, even money. I tapped the desk to emphasize my words, but sacrifice doesn't mean self-pity. It doesn't mean speaking nonsense. It doesn't mean becoming mute. And it certainly doesn't mean. I fixed my gaze on her, every word like an ice pick, lowering your own intelligence and rubbing it in the dirt. It doesn't mean breaking the law, and it definitely doesn't mean. I paused maliciously, adding the final blow, being so stupid that it shatters all limits. Willow's body swayed, and she grabbed the nearby chair to keep herself from falling. The color drained from her face. Her carefully prepared accusations and grievances were dismantled and scattered. All that was left was the stark word, stupid, nailed to her forehead. The bullet comments exploded. He called Willow stupid. So cruel. He's killing her emotionally. One more thing. I couldn't be bothered to watch her teetering on the edge of collapse. You might. I deliberately paused, delivering the fatal blow. You've probably watched too many Angst novels. Your brain's too poisoned. You think love is everything. It's about mourning the spring and autumn, endless misunderstandings, torturing the body and soul, and in the end, a kidney donation, with a tragic ending. Pathetic. I wasn't holding back. In real life, there are laws, there's morality, and there are limits to intelligence. However dramatic it gets, it has to stay within those boundaries. Step outside. That's not angst. That's the law in action. That's crying behind the bars of a prison. Understand. Willow was completely stunned, her eyes wide, her pupils filled with confusion and shock. She didn't understand, or maybe she didn't want to understand. The bullet comments were equally baffled. Law in action. Crying behind prison bars. What is he even saying? The Angst male lead is explaining the law. My whole worldview just collapsed. I stood up. I picked up the coffee on my desk and took a sip. It was cold. TCH. I set the cup down. Lastly, I looked at her, like I was looking at a fool who finally needed to be slapped awake. Willow, listen carefully. Love, this thing, I scoffed. It's not a necessity in life, nor is it a necessity in work. It's just a seasoning. If you have it, great. If you don't, it doesn't stop a damn thing. Live well. I emphasized the last few words with weight. Live for yourself. Be responsible for yourself. Stop living in the childish question of, does he love me or not? It's useless. It's a waste of life. As for things like your family, or the family you'll have, I waved my hand. That's a bigger responsibility. You need to be clear-headed, healthy, and emotionally stable to handle that. To take it on. Not. I scanned her up and down, the disdain in my eyes clear as day, then said, like right now, making yourself into someone who's neither human nor ghost, immersed in self-pity and melodrama, waiting for someone to come rescue you, or torturing others to prove something about yourself. That's so low, so stupid. I was done. The office was silent, with Willow standing there like a puppet struck by lightning, staring blankly, her expression frozen in place, the last remnants of emotion drained from her face. The world she had carefully constructed, revolving around love and being loved, under my barrage of harsh words, full of reality and cold logic, crumbled. It collapsed with a thud, not even a trace left. The bullet comments froze. My worldview seems to have collapsed along with the male lead's words. Who am I? Where am I? What am I watching? Angst. What happened to it? The male lead, what he said, seems to make sense. The sky is falling. The earth is cracking. The end of Angst. Willow seems dumbfounded. Was she insulted into being dumb, or was she awakened by reality? I don't know. I'm dumbfounded too. This male lead, he's not an Angst male lead at all. He's the one here to destroy the trope. He's the Angst Terminator. Finally, Willow moved. She slowly turned around, like a puppet with its strings cut, staggering toward the door with every step. She didn't look back at me, her back filled with a vast emptiness and utter confusion, like she had lost her soul. The bullet comments kept scrolling, but they were disjointed. It's over. Willow is completely finished. It feels like she won't love anymore. Angst is dead. George, he won with his words. This ending is so fucking real, so fucking cold. So this is what a normal person looks like. I sat back down, picked up my pen, and flipped open a file. The world was finally quiet. The fool had woken up. The bullet comments were in disarray. Angst script, burned. As for Willow's kidney, whoever wants it can have it. In the end, my kidney's mine, my life's mine, my future's mine. Who wants to be the Angst male lead? Not even a dog would take that role. Chapter 9. The peace was unlike any I'd ever felt before. My kidney had grown strong. My body was in top shape, and the company was running smoothly. Money couldn't be spent fast enough, and no one was bothering me. Willow. I heard that the male supporting role, Makoto, that coward, finally came to his senses, confessed. I think it was successful. Who cares? Let them be. As long as she doesn't come wandering back around me, I'm good. The bullet comments occasionally still appeared, but the tone had shifted. Is the female lead with the male supporting role now? Is the male lead really done? Wait, did the Angst plotline really just vanish? Damn, is it the male lead solo now? What kind of weird ending is this? Did the Angst rules break down? It was noisy, but I didn't care. Looking at the comments with their "my worldview is collapsing" expressions, I couldn't help but laugh a little. A couple of days later, Makoto came knocking on my door. This time, he had learned his lesson and made an appointment in advance. I let him in, and he sat across from me. His suit was crisp, but his eyes were haggard, and his expression was a complex mix. Hatred, maybe a bit, but more powerless. George, he spoke, his voice hoarse. Willow, she's not doing well. I raised an eyebrow, signaling him to continue. She's in a really bad state. She's always crying. She says it's all her fault. She says you won't forgive her. She says her life has no meaning. Makoto rubbed his face, looking exhausted. The bullet comments started. Willow's depressed. Are you happy now? Scumbag. Male lead. Go see her. She needs you. It's all because you rejected her kidney. I looked at him. So, what do you want me to do? Go comfort her. Tell her it's all my fault. You donated your kidney and acted in a melodrama for me. I shouldn't have called the police or called you stupid. I should be grateful, cry, and beg you to come back. I said it all in one breath. Makoto's face turned pale. His mouth opened, but no words came out. The bullet comments froze. How does he know what we were going to say? Can the male lead read minds? I leaned back in my chair. My tone was indifferent. Makoto, she's sick. She needs treatment. Whether it's a mental issue or a brain issue, it all needs treatment. You're her boyfriend. Take her to see a doctor. If she needs meds, give them to her. If she needs to be hospitalized, do it. Understand? Makoto looked at me like I was some kind of monster. In the end, he said nothing. He stood up, his posture defeated, walking away with a sense of resigned sorrow in his back. The bullet comments were full of sorrow. It's over. The male supporting role gave up too. What's going to happen to Willow? Sob, sob. This male lead's heart is made of iron. What should be done? Not my problem. The greatest kindness anyone can show me is not to bother me. Later, I heard some news here and there. Makoto really did take Willow to see a doctor, a psychologist, a diagnosis. It was said to be severe depression with self-pitying dramatized personality disorder tendencies. Such a long name. I couldn't understand it, but the gist of it was simple. She's mentally ill and needs treatment. The bullet comments completely lost it. Personality disorder. The doctor knows nothing. Willow is just deep in love. This quack, the male lead, probably found him. It's over. The Angst female lead's been diagnosed with a mental illness. Destroy it all. I'm tired. Let them rant. The diagnosis wasn't mine. It was the doctor's. If they have an issue with it, they can take it up with the doctor. I just know that she's quiet now. The world is peaceful, and that's good. My life is very routine, earning money, spending money, staying healthy, and enjoying life. Occasionally, bullet comments still pop up, like a spasm. Finally, one morning, I woke up, and the colorful bullet comments were gone. Completely. Not even a goodbye. Good. Finally. Even that noise was gone. Perfect. Even the finance news sent a push notification. It was the headline. Wong Group stock hits a new high. After George's recovery, the group's strategic shift shows significant results. There were a bunch of analyses, calling me a business genius, visionary, blah blah blah. The accompanying picture was a blurry profile of me. It looked decent. My kidney is mine, the company is mine, and my life is mine. The former female lead. I heard she's still in treatment, with the male supporting role. Maybe together, maybe they broke up. I don't know, and I don't care. Who wants to be the Angst male lead? Not even a dog would take that role. I'm so done.